Okay, hello friends, hi, how are you? Today we're continuing our Andromeda playthrough, Andromeda 6 I should say, and so far really amazing game. I'm definitely wanting to finish it and to just find out what this whole story is about. So let me just load my little game here. Which one was it? 23, this one. Okay, so when I finally reached the exit, I stopped to catch my breath, looking up and down the crowded street for any sign of the man. And if you remember, we saw someone, a man, that we don't know who it is, but we were just so captivated by him and so just mesmerized that we had to follow him, even though we were told not to stray far from the group, not to go alone anywhere. So I'm sensing a little bit of danger, I should say, because he's a mysterious man. We don't know who he is. We're on a strange, different planet that we have no idea where we are, actually where the hell we are located. We only know this bar, we know that we need to stay next to someone, and we're just running off like little crazy women. So let's just go. And I see nothing but the usual vendors and street food carts, but I know that he must be around here somewhere. He couldn't have just vanished into thin air, or could he? So breathlessly, I pick a direction, letting my feet guide me until I'm standing at the mouth of a dimly lit alleyway, a single solitary street light casting an eerie glow over the broken furniture and old trash littering the ground. Deciding I would rather not chance an encounter in a dingy old alley, I turn to head back to the club, stopping only when a noise echoes through the darkness, the sound of breaking glass. I hesitate, ear turned towards the alleyway, listening for any sign of movement. With newfound determination, I straighten up and muster my courage, taking one step and then another into the darkness. A thought enters my mind as I put one foot in front of the other. It could be a trap, and like an idiot, I didn't tell any of the crew where I was going when I left the club. I fumble with the letter sheet that Damon gave me earlier, which, remember, he gave us a knife that we were supposed to use to protect ourselves, and buckle it around my thigh, and I pull out the dagger, holding it tightly in my hand. I wasn't so sure about it earlier, but I'm glad I decided to take it, knowing that if worst comes to worst, I can defend myself. Stealing my nerves, I creep through the alley towards the source of the noise, only to find it empty. I look around, peering as far through the darkness as my eyes can manage, though all I find are shadows. Was it just a rat? There we go! That's him! I knew it was him. I can just tell by the silhouette. It's the guy that I told you guys about in the previous Andromeda episode. I knew it. I'm so proud of myself that I knew it. So he says, you shouldn't follow strangers into dark alleys. A voice startles me from behind, cool breath skittering over my skin and sending a shiver down my spine. But I can't turn around, I can't move after feeling the brush of a cold blade against my throat. And with a dagger no bigger than a butter knife, you're not even holding it right. He leans closer still, and when he speaks again, his voice is a seductively dark rasp in my ear. There we go. And who are you, and why were you following me? I swallow thickly. Oh my god, the thick swallows, guys. We are haunted by the thick and the thick swallows. And trying to keep my cool. My name is Kiki. The man behind me sucks in a breath and spins me to face him, cutting my words short. Oh, there we go. I can see his face clearly through the shadows, but I feel his eyes raking over me, and the shock dripping from him when he takes a step back and lets out a shaky breath. It can't be, no. Princess Kiki, you're alive. Oh, guys, we're the princess. We are the mother effing princess. I knew it. You know that I knew it since like the last episode. When Oppo mentioned the princess, I was like, well, is that us? Like, could that be us, or could it be someone else? I don't know. End of episode 2, there we go, and that was the end of episode 2, so now we are starting episode 3, which is called Rebooting. And Princess Kiki. Princess and we're confused, obviously. What? What is happening? Princess Kiki. Oh my god, how many times is he gonna say that? Vex. Oh, we remember his name? Oh wait, we're having a flashback? Oh my god, this is such huge progress for us, since if you remember, we have no memory of our past life or our life in general. So this is very good that we're having a flashback. And there we go, he is in our memories and he's called Vex. And he smiles when I turn around and something in my stomach feels lighter. It's been a year since we first met. A year and 1 day and 22 hours to be precise. But who's counting? And still I remember the day like it was only yesterday. All ready for the masquerade? With a small nod, I gestured to my outfit, silently gauging his reaction. I could have had one of the servants pick it out for me earlier, a young human who seemed to know a thing or two about the latest fashion. Vex nods in approval as he takes in my appearance, and I turn a little to let him get a glimpse of the entire thing. It isn't often that I have an excuse to wear anything so fine. Being the youngest of the Pegasi children, I am often confined to one section of the palace and never invited to any of the royal functions, save the odd wedding or funeral. My gaze settles on him, nerves getting the best of me now that we're ready to leave, though he only smiles at me reassuringly. He's the only person who smiles at me in this place, the only one who even cares about my happiness, except for... Do you really think this is a good idea? What if someone recognizes me? One corner of his mouth tilts into that knowing smirk that I've come to look forward to every day, the one that makes it seem like he has a secret, something he wouldn't tell anyone but me. And actually he's very attractive, I'm not gonna lie. He's like a very good looking, scar across his face is just very nice. And that's what the mask is for. Taking the lacquered mask from my hands, he steps slowly behind me, positioning it in front of my eyes and tying it by the ribbon behind my head. I bite down on my lip, dread worming its way down to my bones. He had as much to lose if we get caught as I do. Perhaps even more. My hands shake at my sides and Vex puts a reassuring hand on my shoulder to keep me still. We sneak out of the palace every day and into the city to visit the cafe you love so much, and still you're afraid of a little masquerade ball. I tilt my head slightly to make a face at him, wrinkling my nose to show that it's hardly the same thing. Yes, the city, not right under my parents' noses for all to see. It's then that Vex steps in front of me, his fox-like face. It is a fox-like face. And if you notice, I'm gonna zoom in right now, he has little gills on the side of his throat, so maybe he is Kitalfan, just like the pilot. Sharp eyes facing me head-on and a soft smile gracing his lips. Nothing bad will happen to you, Kiki, I promise. Oh, it's so cute. I trust you, or I'm holding you to that promise, or we can kiss his cheek. Yeah, we're gonna kiss his cheek. Of course, we're gonna romance him. I step forward and place a soft kiss on his cheek, feeling the smile that lifts the corner of his lips. I trust that you to keep me safe, Vex. Ooh, when I whisper in his ear, he hums his approval, stopping me with a hand on my wrist before I can pull back again. And how do you know you're safe from me? Heat floods my cheeks and my pulse spikes. I have to admit to myself that I like the way he's looking at me, like a fox stalking its next meal. He reaches out to smooth a wrinkle on my dress, his fingers so gentle when he touches me. I'll be by your side the entire time. I know that he's telling the truth, and I trust him so much that the nerves start to settle and I manage a small smile of my own. As a member of the Royal Guard, Vex Serif has sworn to protect my life against any danger that may befall me. So he is a member of the Royal Guard. He's a guard that is protecting us and our family. But there is more than that. He isn't just a guard, he is my friend. My only friend. Oh, so we were very close with him. Oh, and ooh, he looks really good in this light, actually. When he holds his arm out, I take it with a renewed confidence, letting him lead me towards the secret passage off to the side. The passage comes out on the other side of the palace, just beside the large oil painting of my grandfather and the entrance to the library. There are many passages like this, and Vex and I have explored them all. I know I should feel guilty about this, disobeying direct orders from my parents to keep to the confines of the palace's south wing, and instead running wild and unseen through the very depths of the palace. and with a member of the Royal Guard no less. We're almost there. And Vex squeezes my arm gently as we navigate through the dim passageway, and I can tell that he's excited, which calms me somehow. We step out from the hole in the wall, taking care to remain unseen and prepare ourselves for the masquerade that awaits us. Kiki? The memory ends suddenly, cut short by the sound of my name, spoken by a familiar voice, a voice from my past. Vex? My head feels heavy as I raise my hand to my scalp, pushing against the throb that settled beneath my skull. I remember a little. Bits and pieces become clearer the more I think about it, though there is only one thing that I know for sure. Vex is here, and I remember him. Kiki, Princess, what are you doing here? The question stills me for a moment, taking me off guard as memory after memory of the man in front of me rushed to the surface of my mind, piecing together like a glass unbroken. Some memories remain blurred, more fragments, or actually mere fragments, needing a little more time to come into focus. But others, they swim to the surface. Hear the music. Oh my god, the music is so beautiful. I almost don't want to speak just so you can hear the music constantly, but oh my god, very beautiful music. Like, props to whoever did the music for this game. Really, really amazing. So, but others swim to the surface, desperate for air, while they leave me breathless, struggling to stay afloat. You left me. Emotions hit me one after the other, relentless in their assault. Fear, confusion, anger. Vex, how could you? I meet the eyes of my old friend, expecting to find the kind, emerald green gaze I had grown used to. How did you escape? Escape? He thinks I escaped the attack on the palace. I remember now what truly happened. I remember my brother's wedding, how we were all at the palace that night, the perfect time for an enemy to strike. I left the reception early, planning on leaving the city to search for Vex, and now here he is standing right in front of me. So much has happened since last I saw you. I was rescued by a crew of mercenaries. After being injured on Goldus, my memory of it was gone until now. Seeing you seems to have sparked something in my mind. You remember it because of me? I nod, finding it increasingly difficult to meet those cold eyes of his, the ones that were once filled with such a warmth. What else do you remember? I remember we were friends, or we were more than friends. I'm gonna say that, yeah. We were inseparable. My throat tightens and I know what I have to say. I have to tell him the truth, even if it is too late. You looked at me in a way no one else ever had, and I like the way that made me feel. He takes a step closer, hand raised as he brushes a knuckle over the side of my face so gently. How did it make you feel? Like I was yours and you were mine, like nothing could stop us from living the life we dreamed of, from exploring all the places we said we would. His mouth twitches as if holding himself back from something he wants to say. No, don't hold back, Vex. So I remember what happened that day, the day of the attack. You left. Weeks went by and no one would tell me why or where you had gone. My chest caves at the memories of being told to sit up, shut up and do my duty, all while my only friend in the whole world was gone. I ran away. I was desperate for answers. I came looking for you, though I didn't make it very far before... On the last word my voice cracks and I will the tears that threaten to spill to stay where they are. Why did you leave? Vex stares me down, his eyes cold and unflinching, and I don't understand any of it. I wasn't your friend. I didn't care about you, not even the way they told me they were storming the palace and exterminating the royal line. You what? I was using you, Kiki. He laughs, but it's a bitter sound, devoid of any warmth. You were so naive, you had no idea. All you wanted was a friend. I don't believe you, we were friends. You would think that, wouldn't you, you spoiled little brat? What would you have me tell you, princess? Do you want me to say I missed you, that I thought of you every day and wondered if you would ever get to see those places we talked about? Wondered if someone better would take you there. I didn't. I didn't miss you, didn't think of you even for a second. You're lying, or say nothing, or slap him. I would say we should slap him. I mean, I wouldn't, but I feel like the princess would. So let's just, or should we? We are in like a dangerous place, so we're just gonna say you're lying. That's not true, you're lying. You think so? Then you're stupider than I thought. It doesn't matter either way. You're right, it doesn't matter. Something shatters inside me, some remnant of the past that had rushed back to the surface, only to crumble like dust in my hands. All those times we would sneak out of the palace just to get away, the passages you showed me. That was exactly what I needed to know. And when I took the information to Zovak, he knew exactly where and how to strike. Oof. So he's working for Zovak, who is, if you don't remember, Zovak is the guy that actually made a criminal coup. And he overtook the emperor and the whole power over the whole empire, I guess. So it can be true. If it is, that means it's my fault. If you know what's good for you, you'll stay away far from the Andromeda Six and her crew. They know too much. Far too much, and they'll be dealt with soon enough. Forget who you were, Kiki. The person doesn't exist anymore. If you're lucky, you'll never see me again. He turns to leave, stopping for the briefest of moments to say from over his shoulder, I'm not sorry for what had happened, but I'm sorry for Nerissa. She might have made a good queen, but we couldn't wait long enough to find out. He backs into the shadows, one foot behind the other, and I can't stop myself from reaching for him. He can't leave, not now. I need to know more. Nerissa, that's her mother. Oh, listen to the music. No, that's beautiful music. Beautiful music right there. So something sharp stabs through my chest, a pain so fierce I can barely keep myself on my feet. Nerissa, my eldest sister and heir to the Pegasi throne. Lex was the only one who ever smiled at me except for Nerissa. Kiki, says Calderon. Footsteps echo through the darkness, but my mind has trouble processing their presence. Nerissa, she was going to be queen. She hated our father, but she loved me, and now she's gone. Kiki, what the hell are you doing out here? Didn't I tell you to stay in the club? The captain's voice rumbles past me. Are you even listening to me? And stop, Calderon. Bash shoulders past the captain, but I see nothing but shadows and shapes dancing behind my tears filling my eyes. Can't you see she's upset? Calderon huffs a breath while cold metal fingers take me by the arm and help me stay upright. Are you hurt? I shake my head, unable to speak, and Bash lets out a relieved breath. Let's take her back to the ship. This isn't the kind of place we should hang out. Damon, do a sweep of the area. Make sure there's nothing out of the ordinary. Oops, I need to save and return. I accidentally clicked the right button, I'm sorry about that. So I don't see it when Damon sinks back into the shadows, as quiet as mist, but I feel when Bash gently takes me by the arm and guides me in the direction of the ship, Calderon walking up ahead of us. Bash leads me through the crowded streets of the city, and I'm glad for it because my mind is elsewhere, lost in memories of the past. Before I know it, we're in front of the Andromeda Six, ascending and loading the loading ramp to the docks. There we go, and here is Ayame, Rayona, and June. So 3 heads snap up when we enter, and immediately Rayona is on her feet and coming towards us. What happened? I'm not sure exactly. Bash moves away to give me space, though all 5 of them continue to look at me, waiting for answers until Calderon cuts in. You shouldn't have left the club. You have no idea how dangerous the city can be for someone alone. I'm sorry, I didn't think? Yeah, that seems to happen a lot, doesn't it? Cut it out, Calderon. The last thing we need right now is your bad temper. Calderon opens his mouth to speak, though stops himself at the sight of Rayona's glare. Yeah, she looks scary. She looks scary. So he says, fine. Throwing his arms up in frustration, he backs off and leans against the wall, a sour expression twisting his features. Rihanna comes over, putting a hand on Bash's arm to make sure he's alright before turning to me. Are you okay? When you didn't come back, I was so worried about you. She lowers her voice and leans closer, glancing at Calderon before fixing her bright yellow eyes on me. He may have said it the wrong way, but he's right. Nose Vega is a dangerous place. I'm sorry for worrying you, or I'm fine. I'm gonna say I'm sorry for worrying you because I think that's the least we can do. I'm sorry, I just disappeared. I should have said something. I think back on meeting Vex in that alleyway, on the things he had said to me. I had been such a fool to think that I might have meant something to him. Shaking my head to clear the thought, I decided it's best not to dwell on it now, especially not with so many eyes on me. I didn't mean to worry you. I'm just glad you're alright. I smile at Rihanna gratefully. It's nice to have someone worry about me for once. I've never had many people like that in my life before. I take in a lungful of air, steadying my breath as I scan the room. One look at the pilot sitting with her arm cradled against her stomach brings the memory of the night crashing back on me in a wave of guilt. Aya, is your hand alright? Ayama grins at me, as chipper as ever. I imagine it would take a lot more than a broken hand to slow this girl down. A little sore, but it'll be fine by morning. Doc's amazing at her job, and having all the right equipment on the ship doesn't hurt either. I smile at her in return, glad to hear she's okay, even with my failure to bring back the ice for her hand. Damon. Damon is hurt. When I follow Rihanna's gaze, it's to see Damon entering the bridge. Fresh scarlet blood spattered over his face at the front of his clothes. What happened? Rihanna rushes forward to help Damon, who simply holds a bloodied, gloved hand in front of him to stop her. We were followed. The blood isn't mine. Oh, so he's not hurt, that's good. But that means that maybe Vex was the one who got hurt. And my gaze darts between the captains and his second in command, as does the rest of the crews. Followed? How? Damon shrugs his cold eyes pinned on Calderon in a way that sends a shiver down my spine. Ask the commander over there. Surely he knows how a guard ship is capable of finding us. A collective murmur goes through the room and I swallow around the lump in my throat. More concerning than the fact of being followed is the splattering of blood on Damon's clothes. The blood could have come from Vex, could it? A guard ship? What's going on? They must have put a tracker on us. Calderon's voice is quiet and I get the impression that more than anything he's angry at himself. Damon shakes his head and scoffs. You didn't think to check? I was a little preoccupied with the great bloody hole in my ship and the stray that June brought aboard. I'm standing right here, or we should keep quiet. I'm gonna keep quiet, I think, yeah. My face begins heating when I open my mouth. To say what? I don't know, so I say nothing instead. There's no need for that. I'm the one who made the decision to bring her aboard, so if you want to be mad at someone, let it be me. I'm not mad at anyone, I'm just... A growl tears from Calderon's throat as he kicks over a stack of metal boxes, completely losing his cool. How did things get so effed up? Things were always effed up, Cal. We just never learned how to deal with it. The captain waves a dismissive hand at us all before pinching the bridge of his nose and tanking, what's wrong with my reading today? And taking a deep breath to calm himself. What's done is done. We'll check it in with Oppo about getting a C/D or C-D. Oh, that's a cloaking device. Oh my god, it's a cloaking device. A cloaking device isn't going to do as if they already know we're here. And how the hell do you expect to get the money for that anyway? Bash helps Damon find an old rag, leaving him to wipe the blood from his face and clothes while the captain growls at him. 6 pairs of eyes fall on me and I hesitate. It's not ideal what I'm about to propose, but I value our lives far more than some old trinket. Well, if you have an idea, then spit it out. Taking in a deep, shaky breath, I meet his eyes. We can sell my music box. It's made from Kitalphanite, right? Surely it's enough to buy the parts you need and then some. No, absolutely not, Kiki. You can't just sell that off the only link you have to your past. I look at no one but the captain, gauging his response. Finally, upon making a decision, he lets out a sigh. I agree. It's not something any of us would ask you to do. You're not asking, I'm offering, and besides, it's not my only link to the past. June steps forward, his eyebrows dipping in clear confusion. What do you mean? Tell him about the Vex or don't tell them. I'm gonna tell them, obviously. The reason I left the club was because I saw someone from my past, a member of the Royal Guard. Royal Guard? I don't understand. What was someone from the Royal Guard doing here? My voice shakes, thinking back on the confrontation with Vex in the alley and everything he had told me. I don't dare tell them that he had lied to me for over a year, pretending to be my friend while gathering intel for the man who murdered my family. And I definitely do not tell them that because of my own naivete, I played right into the palm of his hand and gave him everything. When I saw him, I started to remember. I remembered he was in the guard who was assigned to me because I... Calderon swears under his breath, and when his eyes lock on mine, I know he's the only one who's figured out what I'm trying to say. Go on, tell them. With a deep breath, I compose myself, taking the opportunity to look between the crew before things between us are changed forever. My name is Kiki Pegasi, and I'm the youngest child of King Fenris and the stellar Queen Tajine. Look at them, they're all so confused. The faces in front of me are a mix of horror, confusion, and anger, and my stomach drops knowing the weight of the bomb I've dropped on every single one of them. And I wonder what their reaction is gonna be, what everyone is gonna say about this, and I bet you wonder too, and that's why I'm going to leave this for the next episode. So, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all of the support with the likes and the views and the comments. That really means a lot to me. And yeah, this episode was really a wild ride. Like, honestly, it was amazing. So please subscribe if you want to see more Andromeda 6. I'm definitely going to be posting some more, and I'm definitely gonna finish this game. I want to get to the bottom of the story. It's very interesting. So yeah, please like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye!